Welcome back, Focus Learners. Today, we're diving into another explainer, and this one is an absolute game changer. We're unpacking a really bold, paradigm-shifting vision for modern education. We'll be looking at this through the lens of South Korea's notoriously high-pressure system, but make no mistake, this has massive global implications. Basically, our source argues that the traditional approach to schooling is just fundamentally broken. So let's explore the roadmap they've laid out to actually fix it.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. Are we wasting our children's time? It's kind of an uncomfortable thought, right? But we really have to ask if our current everyday educational method of forced memorization is actively harming students instead of helping them. I mean, if we take all that boundless, incredible energy of youth and just force it in the outdated, repetitive tasks, what are we actually accomplishing here?
The source answers that question with a pretty powerful assertion. They say, the era of teaching is over. Knowledge is fully shared now. Think about that for a second. The whole idea of cramming facts into kids, essentially treating their brains like empty hard drives that an instructor just fills up, is seen as an entirely outdated practice in today's world of absolute on-demand knowledge abundance.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 1, the broken education system.
The source issues a very specific warning about this broken system. In a highly dynamic, high-pressure environment like South Korea, forcing kids to waste time on meaningless memorization inevitably leads to systemic breakdowns. The text actually refers to these as accidents. And it makes sense, doesn't it? When you trap human potential in a room for hours on end with zero creative outlet, that frustration boils over into extreme burnout. It's not just inefficient anymore, it's genuinely dangerous.
To put this into perspective, let's just consider traditional homework. A teacher assigns a task meant to take, say, 3 hours of grueling repetition. Today, a student equipped with the right AI tools can finish that exact same task in just 30 minutes. So, what happens to the other 2.5 hours? Well, they're probably scrolling TikTok, right? But educationally speaking, it's totally wasted time. This massive, glaring gap demands a technological solution. And that leads us right into Section 2, the AI paradigm shift.
This shift creates a stark contrast between two very different eras. We are rapidly moving away from the old era, where teachers forcibly inject knowledge into students over mandated, rigid hours, into an entirely new era. In this new world, AI acts as the foundational tool. Instead of spending all their time just searching for and memorizing information, students actually spend their time creatively applying it. The text introduces a really fantastic term for this: the knowledge doctor. Basically, AI systems act as the ultimate provider of facts. You simply ask, and boom, the information is right there. This concept completely replaces the need for teachers to act as human encyclopedias. I mean, if the AI is the knowledge doctor, the teacher no longer needs to stand at a whiteboard reciting dates, formulas, or historical facts. So if the AI is handling all the facts, what exactly does the human teacher do? Well, the text puts it this way: don't try to teach, play well with the students. The teacher's role completely transforms. They go from being a strict instructor to a dynamic mentor and collaborator. They're there to help students synthesize all those AI-provided facts in a fun, super engaging environment. Let's dive deeper into what that looks like in Section 3, creating masterpieces, not homework. This new paradigm maps out a highly organic learning process. It's a 3-step flow. First, the student asks the AI knowledge doctor for foundational facts. Second, by immediately using that info, they absorb the knowledge naturally, no forced repetition required. And third, they channel those facts into producing a real creative project, which the source calls a masterpiece. In this model, learning is just a natural byproduct of creation. And the source actually gives us a highly specific metric for success here: 30. A single classroom, working collaboratively under this new AI-assisted paradigm, should aim to produce 30 global standard projects every single year. Just imagine the pride and, honestly, the incredible portfolio a student builds when their school year isn't measured by a bunch of arbitrary test scores, but by the actual tangible masterpieces they've helped create. So how do we incentivize this? Let's look at Section 4, a merit-based national strategy. This microclassroom model actually scales all the way up to a system of cascading national rewards. We're talking presidential awards and actual financial grants for the students. But fascinatingly, the source suggests giving financial grants to supportive parents as well. It acknowledges that these masterpieces are really community efforts. Ultimately, this proven talent pipeline leads straight to direct corporate scouting from massive giants like Samsung. Now, to fund all of this, the source makes a sharp, politically charged argument regarding government spending. Impartially reporting their view here, the author strongly criticizes unconditional handouts, arguing they create no real economic value, and even likening them to political vote buying. Instead, the author strictly champions merit-based rewards. In this vision, society must pivot to targeted grants given exclusively for proven effort and the actual creation of these student masterpieces. This merit-based system fundamentally changes a student's entire life trajectory by creating a totally new recruitment path. Students compete in national project tournaments, naturally building a highly transparent public portfolio of their work. And because their real-world skills are already proven on a national stage, they get to bypass traditional, stressful job interviews entirely. They just get scouted straight into the workforce. It's wild to think about, but it makes so much sense. This brings us to the grand finale. Section 5. Exporting our education culture. You see, this incredible classroom output doesn't just stay in the classroom. The vision here is that student projects are converted into books and videos, which are then exported to developing markets. The very best concepts get turned into interactive educational games for a massive global audience. The students are literally acting as creators of cultural commodities that benefit the rest of the world. And honestly, here is the sheer economic genius of the author's proposal. By exporting these student projects and educational games, the nation generates massive revenue. This creates a fully self-sustaining education budget, fueled directly by a booming cultural economy. The money made from the students' masterpieces pays for the grants, the technology, the whole shebang. It forms this absolutely perfect loop of creation and reward. All of this leaves us with one final, absolutely vital question to ponder as we wrap up today's explainer. Will we keep forcing the next generation to memorize what a machine already knows, or will we finally empower them to create the masterpieces that will actually shape our future? The blueprint is there. The technology is already in our hands, but the choice of how we treat our students' time is ultimately up to us. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive today, Focus Learners. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.